What's up guys, Josh here from Mixing Mango, and today I want to take another look at my interface because I think everyone's just kind of editing theirs, they're making new ones as we kind of learn more about the new interface system. So this is the one that I'm probably going to stick to, and I'll go through it all now. So first we've got the minimap. It's kind of big, as you can see, like we've got the black bit in the side, but it kind of lines up perfectly with like this tab here, so I'm keeping it this size. And also for HTML5, actually, like, you wouldn't see these black bars because you can see far enough. So I mean, for now it's kind of annoying to have those bars there, but in the future it won't be too bad, so I just have it for that size for now. The second bit here is mostly just like a random thing where you can keep anything. So we got the worn equipment, it's just normally open for me. We've also got the familiar interface, which obviously you can't see now, I've got no familiar, but you can swap to that, so it's really easy to access that one. And then you've got friends list, friends chat, clan chat, skills, notes, and music player. So these things like really easy to access up here. But in terms of combat, this is pretty much just a combat interface, but it is like pretty good for any, like, I think I'll use this for skilling as well, and like as you can see now I'm woodcutting. But in terms of combat, I'm going to keep this one open, then just swap to familiar like every once in a while to see what's happening over there. So next we've got the chat bar. It's pretty normal. We've got all, private, friends, clan, guest, clan, and emotes. This emote one doesn't matter too much really. There's nowhere else to really put it, because I've put it, if I unlock this, if I put it over here, then it creates a scrolling bar, which I don't want, so I just keep it over there, and we'll lock that again. So that is all good right there. Then we have the prayers, so you can see the whole prayer book. There's no need to scroll, so you've got really quick access to anything. You can just put any prayers you want and you're set. So that helps quite a bit right there, just to have that open. Then you've got the indent. I'm not quite liking the shape of the indent. I do prefer the old look, but I'm keeping it like this. I'm gonna have to get used to it because this is probably the best setup I've found so far. So got the indent there and the ability bar above it with these are the custom keybinds that I use, and I'll go through that a bit more in a minute. And then we just got the ability book to the side. You've got all of them here, so you can just quickly switch to it, whichever ones you want really. So this is the interface I'm probably going to keep using. And if we go into some of these options, so we'll start with game settings. Nothing much here actually, but interface. Okay, so I've slimmed all the windows and hiding the title bars, and this one has been locked. Transparency is on nothing, and this one's actually quite important. I've toggled this, which means okay, so here we go. There's an NPC here. When you go over it, you can see the information, but when you go off, then you can't. And so if I was fighting this guy, normally before the information would stay above it, even if my mouse is over here, but now it's only when I'm hovering over it. So it helps quite a lot, especially for next, because that information actually hides the prayers it's doing, so it does help quite a lot there, so you can actually see what prayers. So I'd recommend using that one, because you don't really need to see the information the whole time. It's just when you put your mouse over the character that you can see the health and like the weakness and that kind of thing. So I like it with that set up. The rest of that's kind of just normal controls. This one, I've kind of customized this and I'm getting used to it now. So I've shifted my ability bar down a bit, so it now starts from W and goes all the way to V. This previous action bar stuff I haven't actually changed. Sheep weapon's the same. Invent toggle is now 1, and the toggle 2 is 2, and my quick press is T, so it's all kind of like in the same region. It's quite easy to access all of that, and I didn't change anything else, I don't think. So actually I'm just going to remove that because I might accidentally click that at some point. So I think that's a pretty good setup. I mean, I'd recommend using this way, but I mean, you just got to get used to any way that works for you really. So this way is quite good for me, and graphics and audio don't really matter, so that is fine. If we should go into edit mode, then I guess, so like before, the whole screen is just in this section, so it's not covering the whole screen, and I've got it so this screen is essentially 720p, which means it's a lot easier to record in, because actually what I'm going to do now is cut to how I normally would record my gameplays. Okay, so I'm now recording in 1280 by 720, and as you can see, it's purely the game screen, which I like doing it this way because it means just isn't any clutter really. It's just this bar, which is kind of annoying. It'd be nice if you get rid of it, but it's just the game screen. You don't really see all the interfaces, and it just makes it really clear because it is 720. So this is how I'm gonna record most of the time, and I think it's a lot better. I mean, I've tried recording just like the whole screen in 720, and that's what I did in my previous interface video, but it just means everything is a bit too cluttered for me. So it does work, but it just means I can't set it out how you just seen in this video. So this is how I'm going to record, and it works really well. So if we then go back onto options, so yeah, that is the game. It is essentially 720. I mean, it's a bit out. It might be like, I don't know, like 725 by 1283 or something like that, but it's pretty much 720. And actually Scape still said that he's releasing a video to show how you can exactly make this 720, so I'm definitely going to watch that one, because that's really interesting, because it would be nice to get this like dead on to get like the best recording. So if we go back into this minigame HUD, I'm not really sure. I'm actually going to move this over a bit, but I'm not really sure like what mini games this is for, so I can't really tell you much about that. If anyone could leave that in the comments, that would be quite helpful. And this is my sort of interface. So we've got XP tracker up here. Subscribe doesn't actually matter, but that's over there, and grave timer is there. Buffs and debuffs is over here, and actually I want to move this. Well, if we move this just away from the corner a bit, that's helps. Tasks, new tasks, and then crafting process. I mean, I don't really craft much, doesn't matter. Game dialogue is actually on the screen. I'll move that down a bit. So that's nice. You can actually, like, when I'm recording this window, you can actually see the game dialogue. So that's probably the best place to put it. And then bank interface and central interface as well. If I just, yeah, I think that's pretty much lined up. So the one thing I don't like is how you can't actually have them exactly lined up. It doesn't tell you like where's the middle of the screen, so you kind of got to like average where everything is, which is kind of disappointing, but maybe they'll do that in a future update. But that is essentially my interface. I really like the setup, and it is a great PBM setup, because you've got, like, obviously can't see it now, but you've got your action bar, you've got your invent, you've got like all the abilities and prayers already open, so it's got like everything you need for combat already there. And in terms of skilling, like, there's probably better interfaces, but still this is fairly good for that as well. And I guess, yeah, I might create a skilling interface, although I do have the other interface, which is like kind of like the old RS2 one, which I showed in that previous video, so I might use that one for skilling. But really, this is a pretty decent all-round interface. So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, like, you can try copying this one. I've showed as much as I can, because I do really like this interface. And I think if you're not, okay, so the one thing you got to remember in terms of making an interface is not to try and replicate RS2, but just think about what you actually need. So if you do try to make an RS2 interface, that kind of thing, just think about it like, if you're meleeing, all you really need to open is like your invent, your melee abilities, your prayer, and your worn equipment. You don't need to have like all your magic abilities, your notes open, your music, that kind of thing. So if you're trying to create that kind of interface, you can, like, I'll just kind of show you here. You could just, so like, you got it on the screen there, make it a bit smaller. You just don't need all of this stuff. You can cut it down quite a bit and just have the necessary stuff, and that makes the interface a lot less cluttered and just a lot easier to use. So just like keep playing around with it. Really, it is actually a really good update. I'm really enjoying it. I just got to get used to like the action bar mostly, because I've changed the keybinds, and it's actually quite nice that like next I can pretty much only use my keyboard now. It's just my mouse is to click to move, but the rest of it I can eat from my keyboard, obviously use abilities, and that is like a really cool feature. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later.